Wellness Wednesday, 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 Wellness Wednesday. Welcome back, everybody, to another Wellness Wednesday podcast.
Yeah.
Today we're going to take a deep dive into something that touches almost everyone at some point. That is anxiety. We'll explore what it is, what's going on in the brain, and most importantly, how to manage it with proven coping strategies. By the end of this episode, you'll understand anxiety better and leave with a few powerful tools to manage it.
All right.
Sis, tell them what anxiety is.
Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, unease, usually about something with uncertain outcome. It's your brain's way of trying to keep you safe.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like this, a smoke alarm. It's designed to alert you when there's danger.
Oh, that's good. That's good. To alert you when there's danger.
Sometimes that danger is real, like a car speeding towards you. And so often on the highway, you be like, oh my God, this car about to run in the back of me.
Mm-hmm.
And you get anxious,
Yes.
overwhelmed. It says, but sometimes you be thinking of failure, like when you're doing a presentation.
Okay. Yeah, speaking in front of people.
And even though you're well prepared, there's still that anxiousness,
Yes.
that anxiety. Anxiety becomes a problem when the internal alarm will not turn off.
Ooh.
Even when there's no actual fire.
I like that. Your internal alarm won't turn off even when there is no fire.
There's no actual fire.
No, we get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
In just thoughts alone. Nothing. We're perfectly safe in our home, in our environment, but thoughts alone can turn a simple situation into something severe.
Right.
And we just don't know how to manage it. Some common signs of anxiety: heart racing, restlessness, trouble sleeping,
mm-hmm.
feeling on the edge, avoidance of certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand how people can get overwhelmed and start to panic just by some of the common signs alone. I have an example of, I think I might have shared this when I graduated from college. We was getting ready to walk out to go across the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a culmination of everything hit me all at once. I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. And it was just like so much panic came over me. And I didn't know at that time, but I was having a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what triggered it is I got to the front. I came up from around the corner and I seen the stage and all the people. And it's like, I worked so hard for this, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
These are dreams and desires that you have. And I done it. And it was all coming to an end. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
And I just it just came rushing all at once. That was one time I can remember anxiety just overwhelmed me so.
Wow.
But anxiety is a normal human emotion,
Mm-hmm.
though. And I want people to understand that. It's just like fear, sadness, anger. It's common. But when it becomes debilitating where you can't function complete daily living tasks,
right,
that's when it becomes a disorder. That's the difference between everyday anxiety and anxiety disorder.
Okay.
Sometimes anxiety can feel like you're in danger when you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, in a car, just driving down the street, somebody swerve over into your lane. That's a natural reaction to be like, oh my gosh, they just almost took me out.
Mm-hmm.
It can become a disorder when now, because of that, you're scared to drive. I don't even want to get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
all because of that. But people really face that. I have had clients who said, "I'm not driving because I'm afraid I'm gonna get in a car accident or someone's gonna hurt me." You have people who won't leave the house, social anxiety, because they're afraid they're gonna get attacked.
Right.
And we can even take that a little deeper. We go culturally, Iris. In today's society, different cultures, races, people have fear of just going outside in their community because they might be attacked. That's the reality of the situation. Right, real, for real. Do we even think about that? So somebody coming to us for help, that is a natural feeling to have, and we have to help them process through that. How do you cope with going outside, going to the grocery store, but you don't know if you're going to get attacked?
Right.
We can even, what's happening right now? ICE, right?
Yeah. People
just trying to go to work. And you don't know if you're going to get captured. Like, these are real life things, you know.
Happening.
People really, we hear it on the news, but this is reality for some people.
Right.
And to put yourselves in their shoes, to be anxious about going to work, trying to support your family. That's
a bit much.
That's a lot. The brain can't always tell the difference between a bear in the woods and a scary email. I'm going to read that again. Yeah. Okay. The brain can't always tell the difference between a bear in the woods and a scary email. Because both could be scary, dangerous, anxiety-driven situations. But one of them you can manage. And the other one you might not be able to.
Right.
A bear in the woods, that's a good reason to panic. Probably turn into fear.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, a bear's in front of me. What do I do? A scary email, you could turn that computer off. You could close the email. You can delete the email. And not think about it anymore. And you're still safe in the comforts of your office, your home, wherever you're sitting. You're fine. But a lot of people can't. There's no difference. It's the same scary, anxious feeling in both scenarios.
Right.
And we have to help people manage the difference.
I see that.
Some common triggers to anxiety, like I said, social situations, deadlines, money, uncertainty. Can we just talk about money? I think that's a lot for a lot of people right now in this society, Iris.
Money and uncertainty.
Money. Money and uncertainty.
Without no money,
we don't know what's going to happen. That's true though.
Oh God.
We're living in a reality right now where we don't have enough money and we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yes.
You don't know what laws are going to change, what new policies are going to be in effect, how high the eggs are going to be.
Right. Can I get milk today?
Do I pay my mortgage or my rent? Or do I pay my power bill? My light bill?
Right.
These are the hard decisions some people are making because the cost of living is extremely high, but our salaries are still the same. We still got same minimum wage. But a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,300.
Right.
The math ain't mathing. Imagine having to decide, do I go to work when my children are out of school because I can't afford daycare? Because if I try to do daycare, it's the same cost as it is for me to pay my mortgage or my rent. Should I make sure we have a roof over our head or dinner tonight?
Chris, at this point, the rich, the middle class, and the poor at any grocery line, take that off right there.
No, for real.
Yeah, for real. I'm serious now.
These are the decisions people are making. Yeah. We're all in the same boat.
Yes. For the first time.
For the first time in history, we're all on a it ain't an even playing field. It's just level. We out here in the field. There you go. We out here in the field. Try to figure out how we gonna make it. Scratching and surviving. No good times. Right. We out here. This is a wonderful topic. I don't even think we really thought about how it applies to right now. A lot of people are experiencing anxiety and don't even know it.
That's all you hear.
That's all you hear. You can't even balance your checkbook because there's nothing to balance. We just out here flipping coins on what's the best decision here? What we gonna do?
Yeah.
And try again tomorrow. We just day by day is what people are out here doing. And I understand that. Hidden triggers, caffeine, poor sleep, negative thought loops. If you already know you're in an anxious situation, or you're an anxious person, or you're easily triggered or swayed or moved, emotional imbalance, you don't want to put anything in your system that's going to increase that or make it worse.
Right.
Caffeine, coffee, sodas. These are things you should not be putting in your body if you're already unbalanced. You're already jittery and you wonder why you can't function during the day. Can't complete tasks. Poor sleep. We talked about this before. You have to be getting adequate amounts of sleep. But again, if a person's coming to me for help because they're anxious about their situation in life, I understand why they're getting poor sleep. I can't sleep, Christy.
They're thinking about it all night.
Now what you want me to do? And this is where people don't like to have this conversation. But when you do have so much coming at you at one time, medication might be the best option. I'm just saying just to help you go to sleep so your brain can shut off for a couple of hours.
And it doesn't have to be nothing prescribed. They have natural.
That's right.
Remedies.
They have a whole bunch of herb melatonin, natural things. Herbal tea. There's different things that you can do. And we talked about a bedtime routine. Adults need to have a bedtime routine.
There we go.
You got, after going out in the world and experiencing chaos all day, you need to come home and be able to reset, relax. You got to we heard unwind, but no, for real, you need to unwind your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul. This needs to happen. And you have to make time for that. Right. We talked about self-care a couple of episodes ago. Yes. All this falls into that when you are dealing with anxious situations day in and day out. Negative thought loops. If you're thinking about every time you wake up or get ready to go to bed, tomorrow's going to be terrible. It's going to be tragic already. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me. I'm alone. I can't get anything right. You're already setting yourself up for disaster. These negative loops have to be countered with positive things. And I know it's hard, but practice makes perfect. That's why we said before, you have to surround yourself, put positive affirmations on the wall, listen to some a positive TED Talk, a podcast, read the Bible, journal, scriptures, whatever it is to counter those negative loops that you're having. It takes 27 to 28 days to create a habit. It also takes the same time to break it. Right? So we know this is something that I have. I need to create a bedtime routine. I need to set time for positive self-care and self-thoughts, meditation. We'll talk about that moving forward. These are things that you actively have to do. Action. We talked about action, taking steps to do something, to change something that is not conducive to your success, your wellness, your wholeness. Introduce the idea of thought distortions. Black and white thinking. It's either this way or that way. No. Sometimes there's a middle ground, there's a gray area. And this goes to even relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always right. I got to have it this way. It needs to be done this way or no way at all. You're cutting yourself off at the knees if you're thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is not going to be black and white. Sometimes you're not going to have the answer. Sometimes you just have to sit in the stuff sometimes,
right,
and let it run its course, and know that you're okay and you're safe. Go ahead, because I feel like I'm preaching.
The next segment is how to cope and calm down. You said it earlier, to relax, to unwind. Here's a few tips of and that you can put in your toolbox.
Okay.
Deep breathing.
Mm-hmm. That was wrong. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth.
There you go.
People think that's a joke, but it really does help your body, which in turn helps your mind. Go ahead, sis.
Grounding techniques. Sensory methods.
Mm-hmm. So let me stop, because people might not know what a grounding technique is. Sensory. So let's say you're a textured or sensory person. Sometimes going outside and putting your bare feet in the grass is a grounding, or in the sand is a grounding technique. You're bringing yourself back down to reality. That's what grounding is. Because anxiety can take you and fly you over the moon, and you be out of space somewhere by yourself. Sometimes you need to have something that grounds you, or a stress ball, something that you can squeeze, hold on to bring you back to reality.
And I was going to say, like for me, going out into the garden, being in the dirt, getting those things, like planting flowers or something, that works for me.
Yeah. So find out what works for you, what grounds you, what brings you a sense of calm.
Reframing from thoughts, being anxious, reframing from thoughts. Pretty much what Christy said earlier is this a reality for me? Is this something I can change? Cannot change? We already thinking the worst, so we want to deter from that. Have those positive thoughts, like we said, those affirmations.
Yeah. When it comes to thoughts, one way we combat that in therapy is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, right? It is changing the thought that fuels the anxiety. So if I have a thought in CBT, it creates an emotion. So the emotion could be anxiety. Because I have this emotion, it causes a behavior. So the behavior can be, I might isolate myself, or I might be reckless and impulsive and just do stuff without thinking things through.
Right.
And so you want to try to notice your thought. So if the thought is, I'm going to mess up, right? I'm going to mess up. That's something we all feel or have thought at some point. You challenge that thought. What evidence do I have for this? How am I going to mess this up? Because you're just thinking it and speaking it, but there is nothing to back it up, because you haven't even experienced yet whatever this situation. Or maybe you have, and in the past it didn't go well, but this situation might be different.
Right.
So what do you have right now, evidence to say that you're going to mess it up, is not going to work out? So then you replace, after you challenge it, you replace it. I'm prepared, and I can handle it. I have the tools now. It didn't work in the past, but now I have the proper tools. I have practiced, I have done what I needed to do. I'm prepared now. And I think, I know that this can go well. It's not just positive thinking. It's retaining your brain. It's retraining your brain. And that's what we have to do sometimes. Some of the stuff that we have is learned behavior.
Right.
It was passed down from great grandma to your mama, now to you, and all y'all been wrong. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. You have to tell people, your grandma messed y'all up. That was wrong. It was not right. And so you have to retrain, educate yourself. We've said it several times, when you know better, you do better, right? Go ahead, sis.
Okay. Lifestyle bases that make a huge difference. We touched on this today and previous podcasts. Sleep, again, staying hydrated, and cutting back on caffeine. Yes. You guys know how much that would make a difference. And often your doctors tell you that, guys, when y'all go to do your annual physicals, whatever you go to the doctor for, they tell you this. Sleep, hydration, and cut back on the caffeine makes a huge difference in your life. Also, movement. We talked about this previously. Walking, stretching, dancing, finding some type of hobby or that you like that makes you move. Getting out there, getting that movement in.
I ain't gonna lie, I went to the doctor today.
What did he?
I should try moving or exercising. So yeah, this is true. Yeah. Because I'm having pain. And they keep saying muscular. And I said, how do I have muscular pain when I ain't doing nothing?
That's the problem.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
She said, Christy, you might have to move around. I didn't know that not doing anything could be just as dead. Yes, I did. I just caught myself because I've been telling y'all in these podcasts, not doing anything can be just as severe as going in the other direction, doing too much.
Right.
There has to be a balance.
Has to be.
Your brain and your body are connected. So if we are depriving ourselves, you just said sleep, hydration, caffeine. An anxious brain on 4 hours of sleep is a nightmare.
What?
I just realized I'm not as young as I used to be. I be trying to stay up all night watching Netflix movies. And now I'm going to bed till 5 a.m. knowing I got to be up at 8 a.m. I'm struggling during the day.
You should. That don't add up.
It doesn't. But you don't realize that because, older people say you're only as young as you feel, right? So in my mind, I feel young. But my body is saying, no, we can't do that. We need more than 4 hours. 2 hours to function. And it affects your ability to do what you need to do when you're not getting enough sleep. Exercise, even walk, releases anxiety, reducing endorphins. So that's why it's really important to exercise, not only just for being healthy and weight management and all of that. It chemically releases something and does something for you in a positive manner.
Right.
Cutting back on caffeine if you're feeling jittery. It can mimic anxiety symptoms. Now, I like that.
Yes.
You don't even have anxiety, but you drink so much caffeine, you think you do. No. You just really hopped up on caffeine.
It's really heart palpitations.
Heart palpitations, all of that. Can't racing thoughts running back and forth like a mouse on that, hamster on that wheel. This is good. This is good teaching. Go ahead.
That is ministering to me.
Ain't it? Got to be the first part.
Yes. The next one is the power of talking.
Oh, yes.
To a therapist, a friend, or a support group. We have mentioned that just having a simple conversation, getting things out, just releasing, it makes you feel so much better.
Yeah.
Holding all that stuff in, that's when the anxiety and all that comes in, depression, anger.
High blood pressure.
Yes. Silent stress is a killer.
It's a killer, Iris. It is. I think I had this conversation with a client last week. Why are you holding all this stuff in? When you have the ability to if you don't feel comfortable verbally getting it out, try writing it down, journaling, expressive writing. Dump your thoughts on paper. It gets them out of your head, reduces rumination, and helps you see patterns.
Wow.
We all I don't think we really understand how everything about us is a pattern. It's dots that have been connected.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you really take the time to realize why your 1 + 1 = 2, why you behave, why you make the decisions and the choices that you make, you'll see a what? Pattern.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why you do that. Whether it was learned from your environment, it's the norm for you. There's a pattern to everything, and some patterns need to be chopped up, broken, burnt.
For sure.
Put in the fire. You don't have to heal alone.
Yes.
Can we say that again? You don't have to heal alone. We can take that thing spiritually. You are not alone. Footprints in the sand. He don't leave us.
Mm-mm. We leave him.
You out here struggling by yourself, and you don't have to. Whether you don't feel like you can talk to your family or your friends or a stranger, therapists, counselors, whatever, there's somebody who you can, whatever your faith is,
mm-hmm.
You're not alone. You don't have to walk this. You don't have to do this alone.
Right.
All you have to do is ask somebody for help.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him for help. Professional help. Sometimes you need the support beyond do-it-yourself strategies.
Ooh.
Everybody want to DIY. And don't know what you're doing at DIY. Let's get out of here.
Oh,
anxiety isn't a weakness. It's your brain trying to protect you. But you can teach it new tricks. Start small. Stay curious, and remember, you are not alone. We hope that you were able to take something away from this week's episode. Thank you guys for being so patient. I know you guys are like, where has it been? Because it's clearly past 12
It's been a
noon.
day.
It's been a day, y'all. But thank you. We'll see you next week.